harm me. But I want to know who can use such methods in the lower realms. Elder Ming quickly spoke. If this spell is broken, the one who cast it will definitely suffer backlash. Yes, yes. I will gather all my strength to investigate. We will definitely find the culprit and give the young master an explanation. Then everyone hurriedly left. At this moment, Guchanga silently mourned for Lin Tian for 1 minute in his heart. Xiao Tian, come out quickly. Something big has happened tonight. The family head is gathering everyone for a discussion. No matter how Lin Zhuhan kept knocking on the door outside, Lin Tian was currently thinking of a countermeasure. His source was damaged, and he couldn't even walk steadily. If he appeared like this, even a fool could recognize him as the murderer. As a six-heaven divine king, how could he fail here? Suddenly, Lin Tian thought of the possibility of faking his death. This body was already taken over by him, now he only needed to sever the heart veins, and he would naturally die. Cultivators below the Divine King realm wouldn't be able to detect it. As long as he survived this period, he could use soul secret arts to resurrect. By then, he could escape silently. Guchanga, we'll settle this score later. Lin Tian slapped his chest with his hand. His eyes immediately turned white, and blood began to flow from his mouth and nose. When Lin Zhuhan broke through the door, Lin Tian had already turned into a soulless corpse. Lin Tian. Young master, it's my failure to discipline properly. Please punish me, young master. Have you found the person? Report to the young master, we found the person, but... At this point, Elder Ming stopped speaking, and the entire Lin family could only silently lower their heads in silence. Oh, what happened? The family head of the Lin family spoke. It's a child from our family, named Lin Tian. Usually, he's just an inconspicuous younger generation. But when we found him, his heart veins were already damaged, and he was lying in a pool of blood. Is he dead? The Lin family members knew they could hardly escape punishment. And they all kneeled down, begging Guchanga to punish them. No matter what, he's still the son of fate. How can he become the protagonist if he's so afraid of the blame and kills himself before even killing the enemy? Moreover, the system didn't give any notifications, which means this person is definitely still alive. Guchanga immediately guessed that Lin Tian was faking his death. But with just a strand of damaged soul, once he leaves the body, he wouldn't even be able to withstand a slight breeze. Where could he run to? While Guchanga was thinking, he didn't notice that the Lin family members were already unable to bear it. Exactly. This guy Lin Tian didn't do anything, yet he provoked this evil god. As long as he tries to investigate the crime, the entire Lin family will not escape death. They thought Lin Tian had already repented, but Lin Zhuhan couldn't understand why he committed such a heinous act, putting the entire family in danger. Everyone couldn't help but want to drag out his ancestors for 18 generations, but then they remembered that his ancestors were also their ancestors. In the tense atmosphere, Su Qingxia, on the other hand, was enjoying the taste of power. Even though Guchanga hadn't done anything yet, the Lin family members had already fallen into chaos and fear. Lin Tian's resentment was already spreading everywhere. Lin Tian was rejected by the entire family. Luck points lost 100, the system added 500 points of destiny. While deep in thought, Guchanga suddenly jolted. Did Lin Tian's mere action bring him so many destiny points? Now, that person's remaining value should be quite low. Ultimately, he was still restrained by Lin Zhuhan. Unable to hold back anymore, Elder Ming spoke again. Lin Tian is my descendant. After committing such an act of disrespect, I truly have no face to face you. Guchanga motioned for him to stop. Something felt strange. He had heard Lin Zhuhan mention some things about Lin Tian before. How could a talented young man suddenly commit such a murderous act? He suspected it was related to soul-stealing secret arts or body manipulation. He had seen such things before. So it was not surprising anymore. Guchanga concluded that the source of this matter was Lin Tian, and it was definitely unrelated to them. He wasn't the kind of person who acted without understanding. To take care of Elder Ming, who had followed him for many years, he decided to let this matter go. The entire Lin family was overjoyed, as if a heavy burden had been lifted from their hearts. They sincerely thanked Guchanga for his magnanimity and tolerance. They promised to thoroughly investigate the matter and give him an explanation. Before letting them leave, Guchanga reminded them, temporarily keep Lin Tian's corpse, do not cremate it. Because I haven't plucked this tender green onion yet. We must wait for Lin Tian to be resurrected. As everyone was preparing to leave, Gu Changge called Lin Zhuhan, intending to ask her to take him to the inner city for sightseeing in the coming days. All right. If the young master desires, Zhuhan will never refuse. Previously, the system had hinted to him that women were connected to the Son of Fate, and if they swore loyalty to him, they would help him gain destiny points. Lin Zhuhan's luck points were only 200, and with a bit of effort, making her fall in love with him shouldn't be difficult. Gu Changge wasn't sure if Lin Zhuhan, like Su Qingxia, could enhance her own luck and thus boost his luck. Or if that was a special ability unique to Su Qingxia. In any case, he decided to keep Lin Zhuhan by his side for a while. 3 days later, people could see ships, fish, turtles, and even some cultivators riding flying swords in the sky. What had happened recently? Why are forces from the 8 domains flocking into Central Continent? Haven't you heard? The Lin family's ancestor has returned, and brought with him a mysterious figure who's said to be from the immortal sect in the upper realm. Any force associated with him will certainly have the opportunity to soar like a carp leaping over the Dragon's Gate. Looking at the 8 domains, even the location of the Youth Taoist Conference in Central Continent has been changed to the Lin family's ancestral land, the ancient city of Fierce Moon. That's right, I heard that many divine clan forces from the ancient god mountains have also appeared. It seems they all came to meet that great figure in a tavern. Long time no see, brother Jinyang. Your cultivation has truly advanced, quite a bit. Not at all. I heard that brother Xingtian recently perfected his divine arts technique. It's just luck, how can it compare to all of you Dao brothers? Brother Jinyang, I heard that not long ago, you had 100 exchanges with a handsome young man from the eastern wilderness, and neither of you could gain the upper hand. In the end, you became brothers. Is that true? Exactly. Let me tell you, that little brother's talent is something that only appears once in 1,000 years. He fought with me for several hundred moves, with his mid-level divine arts cultivation. And neither of us could win. He even forced me to use my true body of the Great Sun, and only then was I able to barely suppress him. Jinyang, the holy son of Daoyuo sacred ground. Is there really such a genius in the world? This little brother is steady in temperament and extraordinary in talent. He's clearly someone destined for great accomplishments. I misspoke, he's someone destined to achieve greatness. Too bad he offended that cheat who activated his extra abilities, so he had to abandon his homeland and flee to Central Continent. Are you talking about that rumored person? I heard he's like a frog wanting to eat swan meat, and when he couldn't get it, he became jealous of some great figure. The red-haired person angrily slammed the table. Nonsense. It's clearly that woman who wanted to climb to the Phoenix's position. She betrayed my little brother and then spread rumors everywhere. Could it be? Very likely. Brother Jinyang is straightforward and generous, he wouldn't lie. I don't know who the person brother Jinyang is talking about is, but if there's a chance, could we meet him? Hearing this question, the red-haired person became a bit embarrassed and didn't know how to respond. Suddenly, a little girl shouted. I didn't expect that an elder from the Lin family in the Great Might realm would personally receive a young master. The person next to her was also a stunning beauty of the Lin family, Lin Zhuhan. It's said that she became an elder at Dao Extreme Academy at a young age. The woman in green clothes had an extraordinary aura, and her chest seemed to belong to the Taishan saintess from the eastern wilderness sacred land. So, that white-clad man is the one who recently caused a stir in the world. I didn't expect to meet that great figure here. This is truly a rare opportunity, I must go and pay my respects. Unlike the excitement and urgency of others, the red-haired man appeared tense and somewhat displeased. I didn't expect to run into him here. Gu Changge sighed. Looking down from the top of this tavern, one really gets a feeling of controlling the 9 heavens. The person who built this pavilion must also be someone who understands how to enjoy life. Only my palm controls the 9 heavens. Young master, look, what is the true purpose of cultivation? Cultivation is nothing more than the struggle in this world. One treats their body like a raft floating in the vast mortal world, yet their thoughts have long since floated to the shore. Treating the body as a raft floating in the vast mortal world, the explanation you gave is indeed different from what ordinary people think, profound beyond measure. Just these two sentences, they seemed like a gospel to my ears. It seems that cultivation in the upper realm must be incredibly mysterious. I can hardly imagine it. Are you leaving, young master? Lin Juhan immediately stopped feeling excited. She knew well her own identity. Lin Tian, her brother, had done such things, and with Gu Chang'e, how could it be easily forgiven? Gu Chang'e told her not to blame herself. That day, he had only casually reminded her, not expecting things to develop this way. If Lin Juhan felt guilty, she could do something for him. She only needed to pay a little attention to her brother's corpse. Gu Chang'e explained that from Lin Tian's behavior, it was not just his soul being controlled, his body had likely already been taken over by some mysterious existence. After all, there are many secret techniques in this world, and resurrection is not impossible. Resurrection? Does this secret technique really exist? Clearly, Lin Tian's heart pulse has been severely damaged, and his chances of survival are completely gone. Doesn't this mean that Lin Tian is in a state of fake death? Gu Chang'e continued, saying that this was merely his speculation. Lin Juhan only needed to pay a little attention. If Lin Juhan could witness Lin Tian being resurrected, then all the ties between them would be severed. By then, there would be no need to keep Lin Tian's life. My lord, several young disciples from the 8 domains wish to pay their respects to you. If they've come, let them in. After a while, a group of people respectfully bowed to Gu Chang'e. They began to showcase their ability to flatter. Lin Chohan quietly observed these people. These geniuses usually boast and brag, but she never expected they could also show such a composed side. Even the saintesses from major forces had to remove their masks to please Gu Chang'e. But even so, it might not necessarily move Gu Chang'e. His attitude toward them was completely different from hers. The person entrusted with such a heavy responsibility had an extraordinary aura and could understand and tolerate her, being gentle and considerate. Lin Chohan's heart suddenly stirred. Activation of a destiny event, successfully subdue Lin Chohan. Host's destiny points increased by 200. Fate value increased by 1000. Having subdued 2 people, Su Qinglan and Lin Chohan, Gu Chang'e's destiny points had increased by 300. Now, his cultivation in the lower realm had reached its peak. So he decided to keep these fate values for safety. As for Lin Chohan, he was not in a hurry, he could take his time to cultivate her. When she brought him some snacks, he could already see that this girl had developed feelings. Gu Chang'e decided to exchange a beginner's guide to the art of the Guqin worth 100 destiny points and wait for the right moment to gift it to Lin Chohan. As for how things would develop in the future, it would depend on her. Suddenly, a notification appeared, and a mission was released: suppress the Fate Sun's sworn brother. The mission reward was 500 fate points, and failure had no penalties. Lin Tian had already been crippled, so this mission must have been brought by Yi Chen. It made sense. As the Fate Sun, Lin Tian could escape death under any circumstances, and it was only natural for him to have connections with geniuses from major forces. If this were a randomly appearing mission, Gu Chang'e guessed the mission target was one of these people. He immediately called the leader, Su Xian, and asked, "Do we have any news about Yi Chen in Zhongzhou?" Facing the sudden question, Su Xian stammered, unsure of how to respond. Although he didn't know who Yi Chen was, seeing the expression on this master's face, it was clear that he was somewhat dissatisfied. It sounded familiar, from the eastern wilderness, the Taishan Saint Sun here. Could it be? The red-haired man was filled with confusion. Why is this guy staring at me now? The blue-haired man immediately pointed at him and said, "Master, I've heard that the Holy Sun Jin Yang from the Kalu Holy Land knows a hero from the eastern wilderness. Could this be the Yi Chen you're looking for?" The red-haired man secretly cursed his fate. No, that damn Baiwa, Holy Sun. Gu Chang'e was neither happy nor sad, neither in a hurry nor slow. He gently asked the red-haired man, "What is the surname of the person you know?" The red-haired man acted as if facing a great enemy. He remained silent. "If you don't speak, it should mean that the person you know is connected to the one you are trying to find, right?" The red-haired man cupped his fists. "Master, I don't know where the person you're looking for." Before he could finish his sentence, he was forced to stop, overwhelmed by a sense of oppression that made him unable to resist. "You only need to answer whether it's true or not." The saint sons and saint daughters of the 8 desolations didn't expect the person before them to have such terrifying strength. Such an aura not even their emperor had ever shown. The blue-haired man worried that he had been too hasty. If it implicated the red-haired man, would he also get into trouble? The red-haired man trembled all over, confirming that he indeed knew a brother named Yi Chen. But when Guchanga asked where Yi Chen was, the red-haired man was unwilling to reveal his whereabouts. Jin Yang, are you crazy? Master, this kid must have been charmed by that Yi Chen guy. Normally, he wouldn't do something so foolish. To their surprise, the red-haired man actually reprimanded the other person, defending Yi Chen, believing that the situation between Guchanga and Yi Chen was just a misunderstanding. I'm asking you, this is your honor. Whether there is a misunderstanding or not, what qualifications do you have to question me? The red-haired man was crushed by the aura emitted by Guchanga, spitting out blood. His legs gave way, and he immediately knelt on the ground. His old bodyguard rushed over, asking Guchanga to show mercy and let them go. But Guchanga's expression remained unchanged as he immediately called for Old Ming. Old Ming appeared from the void. And those present felt an extremely terrifying aura. Guchanga coldly said, after tomorrow, I don't want to hear any more news about the Kalu Holy Land. As soon as the words were spoken, a group of people turned pale as death, their blood seemingly frozen in fear. The red-haired old guard couldn't hold back and collapsed directly onto the ground. Just a few words, and the fate of a local force was decided. The indifference, towering over all living beings, as if a deity controlled everything. This was the true face of this young master. Mission completed perfectly, the destiny value increased by 4 points, gaining 700 points. The Kala Sacred Land. The old patriarch of the sacred land didn't understand whom his Kala sacred land had offended to cause such a great calamity. Could it be that fate itself wanted to destroy Kala sacred land? Indeed, a voice echoed, and a huge hand appeared in the sky, descending to strike. From then on, the Kala sacred land was erased from the map. In a rundown courtyard, Yi Chen froze, as his elder brother Jin Yang was already dead. His jade pendant had shattered into 2 halves, and while crying, he swore to avenge him by killing Guchanga. At this moment, his master also emerged from the ring, about to speak, but Yi Chen stopped him. If you're going to advise me to let go of my grudge with Guchanga, there's no need to say it. The ancient secret realm is about to open. I must acquire the inheritance of the realm's master and the sealed demonic energy. Xiu Han, ever since we returned from the Zhaixing Pavilion, why have you been silent? Did I scare you? Lin Xiuhan honestly responded, I am indeed a bit scared, probably because I've never seen Guchanga act that way. But I know he isn't being cruel to me. It was my oversight. Guchanga took out a beginner-level alchemy book and gave it to Lin Xiuhan. As an apology to her. Seeing that it was something she needed, she didn't refuse. Young master, you scared me too, Suchinga said. But it seemed Guchanga didn't hear her. He sighed, the moonlight tonight is nice. Suchinga cursed silently, this damned ghost. 3 days later. At this point, Lin Xiuhan had understood that, while Guchanga was very indifferent to others, he still upheld the Lin family's dignity. Reflecting on how he dealt with those who opposed him, Lin Xiuhan deduced, Lin Tian was no longer Lin Tian. If not, how could Guchanga be so tolerant toward the Lin family? The place where Lin Tian's body lay. Suddenly, he sat up. I've been resurrected. The guards saw this scene and were so terrified that their souls fled from their bodies. They hurriedly ran to tell Lin Xiuhan. But before they had a chance to say anything to Lin Xiuhan, she had already ordered them to step down. Looking at the body, still intact and unharmed, Lin Tian thought he had already passed this tribulation. Now, all he had to do was pretend to have amnesia, deceive those people, and everything would be fine. Guchanga, I'll slowly settle the score with you. But before he could calculate anything, he saw Lin Xiuhan and Guchanga standing before him. Guchanga's gaze looked at him as if he were a dead person. Immediately, panic struck, and he hurriedly pretended to have amnesia in a flustered manner. This kid's acting is too exaggerated. Who is this man? Why have I never seen him before? Lin Xiuhan couldn't hold back anymore and shouted angrily, shut up. At this point, you still want to pretend? But Lin Tian still acted as if he didn't understand, wearing a look of confusion on his face. Lin Xiuhan's gaze shifted from anger to indifference. Lin Tian still tried to explain, attempting to prove that he had lost his memory. At this moment, Lin Xiuhan could no longer control herself. Shut up. Don't call me your sister. Who are you? Where did you hide my little Tian? Faced with Lin Chohan's anger, Lin Tian suddenly clutched his head